Welcome back to Socks and Sandals, and today I thought I'd try something fun, or at least interesting. I thought I would look through all of the games I've got 100% registered on trueachievements.com and then compare them to the guides on XboxAchievements.org and PSNProfiles. Look at the difficulty and then review the game and whether or not I think the difficulty listed on Xbox Achievements, or if there isn't a guide on Xbox Achievements PSN profiles, whether or not it's valid, or if I think it should have been higher or lower. I'm not going to go through every game. I'm just going to go through the ones that are interesting. And the reason I have my computer in big head mode here is there are some games up further that I don't want revealed at the moment because I'm doing an achievement challenge. So I want to keep those under wraps until I'm done with that video. So let's just get into it. So the game that I've done recently is Wolfenstein Youngblood, and I think maybe a week ago by the time y'all are seeing this one. But let's go ahead and we'll just search it up here on Xbox Achievements. Oh, it is .com. One thing I don't like about Xbox Achievements is you've got to type it exactly how it is. All right, so we did find it. So Wolfenstein Youngblood, it does have a guide, and it's ranked at a 3 out of 10 difficulty. I'd probably agree with that. It's not a hard full completion. It is a very grindy one. It does have achievement tracking, which is fucking tops. I love it when Xbox games have achievement tracking. 45 to 60 hours. I'm trying to remember how many hours I put into it. I believe it's about 4 days is what I ended up with. I think I was like a level 93, because 4 times 4 is 16, right? Yeah. 76 hours. I could swear that 3 days is 72 hours, though. Oh, you know what? It's 96 hours. I added 4 and 2 as opposed to multiplying them. I'm an idiot. So I've got 96 hours, and according to this, it takes 45 to 60 hours to complete it. I don't know where my additional hours came from. I may have left the game idle, or it may have actually taken me 96. But out of the Wolfenstein games, it's probably the easiest to get all of the achievements for. It's definitely way easier than Wolfenstein 2. Okay, let's look at Brave, because this one on Brave difficulty was actually, in my opinion, pretty difficult. Is it? How am I going to even search it? Disney Pixar Brave. Let's see if we'll even be able to find it. $5 says it. Yeah, it doesn't find it. It's probably because I didn't put the colon. Just Brave the video game. It does have a guide. There's no roadmap, though. So I don't... Let's see if it's on PSN profiles. Nope, I did not mean to hit games. Couldn't find anything. It came out on PS3, right? Come on now. There's one on PlayStation Trophies. It's a 4 out of 10. So 10 to 15 hours. Yes, finish it on Brave difficulty. So I guess we've also got this one that we can use. Yeah, I'd agree with that. 4 out of 10. Brave difficulty to me was actually pretty difficult. And it's not really a warranted difficulty either. it's because the game can be janky at times, and the enemy AI just behave terribly. So how is there a place, because this is just the PlayStation version of this. It's literally the exact same thing, but so why didn't someone do a proper roadmap for the Xbox version? That's stupid. But yeah, I'd agree with a 4 out of 10 for Brave. Okay, the rest of these, let's look at Rock Band 4. I am really curious on that one because it's like, it's somewhat skill dependent. Like, you have to beat a lot of the songs on Expert. You've got to get a certain percentage of the solos on Expert. And then you have like the DLC. And then the last few I needed were the shit for having a full band. And that's probably what makes it the most difficult, is, for one, having all of the instruments to actually play with a group of 4 people, and then getting 4 other people to play Rock Band with you. I think what I ended up doing when I did it was I just did, because I think I had 3 achievements left to get a, what is it, like a times something or other multiplier. It's basically where everybody goes into star power at the same time to split a vote 4 ways. Hell, that may have been it. I can't remember. I have a video of it, but I had to spend $300 to get the legacy adapter to even do it. But let's see. It does not have a guide. What about PSN profiles? Seriously? What the fuck is going on with their site? Okay, there is a trophy guide for Rock Band 4. It has an 8 out of 10. Okay, yeah, this is solely skill dependent, and having all of the instruments and the legacy adapter. Either you've got like the PS4 or Xbox One version of all of the instruments, or you've got to have that legacy adapter. That's definitely, to me, the hardest part. Difficulty specific. Don't shred on me going solo. Golden opportunity. Just for kicks. Leave them wanting more. Rock Band Immortal. Is this the... No, I don't even think Rock Band 4 had an endless set list. Earn 5 stars in every song in Rock Band 4 on Expert. You can switch to different instruments. You don't have to do it all on like guitar or drums. So if there's a song that is really hard on guitar for Expert, you can switch it over to bass. Maybe the bass is easier, or drums. I know the last song that I had to get 5 stars on, it's some sort of screamo song, but literally everything on it was red. A lot of the vocal parts were just spoken word. So I ended up getting my final 5 star by singing. It took me a few tries to do it, but I was able to actually do it. 8 out of 10. I mean, it does, make me feel good. 8 out of 10, but I've been playing Rock Band since it came out. Now, like Guitar Hero 3 and stuff, I mean, those have got to be like a 10 out of 10. Because they are just like Rock Band 1 is probably a 10 out of 10 just because of Greengrass and High Tides alone. That's my sticking point with Rock Band 1 on Expert, is Greengrass and High Tides. But to me, I would probably only give Rock Band 4 like a 6 out of 10. Out of the Rock Bands, barring Beatles Rock Band, because so the Rock Bands I have fully completed are the AC/DC Live Track Pack. So that one's the easiest one to do. But Beatles Rock Band 2, and then Rock Band 4. So AC/DC Live is probably the easiest, but Rock Band 4 is nowhere near as hard as Rock Band 2 because it doesn't have an endless set list. So, but 8 out of 10, that does make me feel a little bit, that puts me in high spirits that I have a difficult full completion like that. So Call of Duty Classic. Let's see this one. Because to me, this was like one of the hardest Call of Duties to beat on Veteran. 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'd agree with that. 1, but 2 is recommended. No. See, I just started at Veteran. So the difference with Call of Duty Classic, so if you don't know, Call of Duty Classic is like, I guess, an HD version of the first Call of Duty that released on PC. And its veteran campaign is different because, so in the original Call of Duty, you did not regen health. You had to actually pick up health kits to get your health back. Well, in Veteran, there aren't any health kits on the map. Not that it really would have mattered, because you're dead in like 1 to 2 shots anyways. So even if you had like a health kit, you take a sniper round, or hell, even just a shot from a normal enemy, and you're dead in 1 hit anyways. So the health really didn't matter. It really wasn't a factor. It was just kind of like figuring out, like doing the same thing over and over, and then eventually you would get past it. The hardest part for me in Call of Duty Classic was there's a bit during the Russian campaign where you have to get into this apartment building, which is crawling with Nazis, and then a bunch of tanks roll in, and you have to blow up the tanks. The first hard part was just getting into the apartment building without being killed by somebody you couldn't even see from a floor above you. You basically just had to keep redoing that until you learned where all of the enemies were. And then the second hard part was shooting the tanks before they actually killed you. What I ended up doing, I discovered some sort of glitch, actually. What ended up happening was when you died and reloaded, you're stuck behind this other person, but if you're holding forward while you're in the loading screen, you'll start moving before he does, and you can actually get ahead of him, and then you can get down to the first tank before it rolls up, and then you could take it out before it even stops to shoot at you. The second one, you kind of have to hope you get lucky and that the first shot it fires doesn't kill you, and then you can take it out. Yeah, I did that for a while. And then after you destroy all of the tanks, there's a holdout section for reinforcements, and that one was a pain in the ass as well. I ended up dropping the PPSH, so the weapon I had was the MP40, and it didn't have a big enough clip, or magazine, sorry, gun nuts. So what would frequently happen is I would go to reload, and a new enemy would come up the stairs or through a doorway and kill me as I was reloading. But I was finally able to get to the next checkpoint, and then after that checkpoint, I ran into a building to try and get a better view of the Nazis. I ran into a different room trying to get a better view of the Nazis as they came up the stairs, and found another glitch there where the Nazis couldn't get to me in that room. The only thing I had to worry about was the tank that rolled up afterwards, but I moved like slightly to the left where I was behind a little wall, and the tank despawned. So I just kind of lucked out on that one. But yeah, that's definitely the hardest part of Call of Duty Classic. I spent like 6 hours or so on that mission alone. Yeah, it was. I would say an 8 out of 10 on that one. I don't think it's as hard as Call of Duty World at War, but it was pretty difficult. It's at least more difficult than the modern iterations of Call of Duty. I would like to see Wanted Dead, but this one I know for a fact doesn't have an achievement guide. Yeah, no guide there, and I'm fairly certain it doesn't have one on PSNProfiles here. In fact, it doesn't. See, I've already searched it before. It doesn't even pull it up. At least it's not on the... I mean, you would figure it would be on the first page. Let's see. Is it on this one? Wanted Dead is my rarest full completion, though, on Xbox. I think... I'm going to look at it here. I don't know what happened, but it's not being... Well, while that loads... Well, I'd have to... Nope, no trophy guide either. So I don't even know what this difficulty is. It's definitely a higher... If I, like, search... What the hell? If I search games... Golly, their website kind of sucks. It's a higher full... Or a higher completion rate. Why is it not being able to find it? I don't know. I think there's, like, 200 people that have completed it on, let's see, leaderboards. 50%? What does that mean? Is that how many people have completed it? No, that's its review. Okay. But yeah, I think like 200 people have completed it on PlayStation, and only like, at least on True Achievements, here, I'll just do this. 18 have completed it on True Achievements. Okay, Callisto Protocol. This one, see, it's not going to list the DLC with it. I don't think that it's going to be accurate. The base game isn't really that hard. Hell, my first playthrough, I think I ended up doing it on... Oh, there is a guide. It's a 7 out of 10. Yeah, but see, that's base. And see, this isn't even... This is before the New Game Plus was added. I would not even give it a 7 out of 10 base game. I'd probably say base is probably about 5 out of 10 at least. Or at the most. Let's go down to the DLC. So, my first playthrough, I actually did it on hardcore mode. Because I thought that it would unlock the base game's hardest difficulty achievement. I thought it would stack with that. So I actually did like an extra playthrough than what was required. If I had just started the game on maximum security, it would have saved me a playthrough. But because my first playthrough was on hardcore, playing through on maximum security wasn't anything. But I mean, I guess I would have had to, I still had to do hardcore mode anyways, so I don't know. It really wasn't anything, but the hardest achievement in the game is completing it on contagion mode without dying. I did it using the save exploit. So when I first attempted this, I had already played through Callisto Protocol probably about 5 or 6 times already. My first attempt at contagion mode, I actually made it all the way to the final level, the final chapter, and then the first fight with Two Head, that's where I died. I was literally in the final chapter of the game, and I died at the first fight in Two Head by a stupid mistake. I had been using the save exploit as a backup just in case I actually died. And what that is you start a chapter while online, and then once it actually loads into the chapter, I would do it during a cutscene. And once you actually take control of Jacob and it shows you the chapter name at the bottom left, I would then take my account offline and then play the chapter. And then once I beat the chapter and again loaded the cutscene, I would turn the Xbox back online. What happens when you die is if you are online, it saves your death to the cloud. But if you keep it offline, the only way it has access... So, let me explain further. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, if you die, what you would then want to do is hit the dashboard button, go to manage games, find Callisto Protocol, go into it, and then delete the save with the game still running. It'll close out of the game, and you then take the Xbox, put the Xbox back online, and then launch the game again. And it just loads the save from the cloud before you died. So that's a way to get around that. I ended up having to actually play Contagion mode twice because the Contagion mode achievements became bugged after I think it's the Riot mode DLC came out, where people would complete it like legitimately and it still wouldn't give them the the You Belong Here achievement. Sometimes it wouldn't even give them the glutton for punishment for even finishing the game in Contagion mode. So I had to do it twice to get that one to unlock. So I guess that was my punishment for using the exploit. Maybe one of these days when I don't have a full-time job, if I get that lucky and actually get to do YouTube as a full-time thing, maybe I'll go for it legitimately. But for right now, I'm fine with that. I actually liked Callisto Protocol. It is one of my favorite games. I liked it enough to put in the work to actually get all of this done. But yeah, not a lot of people do like it. But yeah, I think it's a fine game. They did my boy Jacob dirty at the end though, so I am upset about that. But I would like to play Redacted one of these days, the kind of spin-off to Callisto Protocol. That is on my to-do list, but I've got other things to do right now. Left 4 Dead 2. I'm going to say this one's probably I'm going to say from 7 to 9 out of 10. It is another one of my favorite full completions, though. So it is a 9 out of 10. And is this including the DLC? Minimum numbers of playthrough needed 1. It is including the DLC. 9 out of 10. Yeah, just based on the realism mode. The achievement to beat all 4 campaigns on expert, so later on in Left 4 Dead's life, they added mutations. And you can it used to be a weekly thing. Like you would launch the game and there would be a new mutation to play that week. But when Valve stopped updating it, they made it to where you can just do mutations just on your own. And there's a mutation to give everybody M40s, the machine gun. So you can set it to expert and then just give all 4 survivors machine guns. And that makes that a lot easier to beat the campaigns on expert. But the realism mode one, that one is the hardest achievement. I played that online. We did the Dark Carnival, and that guy basically carried me through the whole thing. That was something, but yeah. There are a few other achievements that were a bit of a struggle. Like, I had to, in order to get the final few online achievements I needed, I ended up boosting it with friends. I had 8 Xboxes, so I bought 8 copies of Left 4 Dead 2, and we boosted the multiplayer achievements that I was missing. If you were actually going for it legitimately, I don't even know if it's still possible. You might be able to go onto True Achievements, or yeah, it's an Xbox exclusive, so go on to True Achievements or hell, Steam. It's on Steam as well, and ask for boosting partners. But yeah, doing it with 8 Xboxes, yeah, it's kind of costly, especially now. I bought 8 copies of this game when it was only $10. So I know I had issues with Wedding Crasher. That one gave me some trouble. M60, sorry, it's not an M40, it's an M60. The Sacrificial was one that I ended up having to boost with my family. with my 8 Xboxes. Really, to me, the only difficult achievement in the game is the real deal. Like, I remember when I was originally playing with this, I don't think I struggled too much for... I ended up doing this one solo in a versus round, leave the safe room to defib a dead teammate. I just had an idle controller. There's another one I did where you had to be a charger and you had to like solo kill an enemy in Survivor or in Infection, whatever the hell, versus. But there was another one where I had to run out and defib, and I think I did both of those in that. Like I played as the charger, I downed that Survivor, and then ran out of the safe room to defib them. I think that it's been a while, but I think that's what I did. Yeah, the meat tenderizer. Yeah, the system link versus kill off 2 of the survivors in the safe room. Exit the safe room once the second controller is the charger. Charge at the AI survivor and watch as your other teammates' partner is pummeled into the ground. You need to be playing as a charger to earn the achievement. If you are playing with 2 people, you need to have at least one controller set to the infected team. Doing this allows you to pick between the infected you need achievements for. Make sure whoever needs whichever achievement player is the infected. Okay. Yeah, other than, like I was saying, the real deal achievement, I don't think anything else is really that difficult, especially if you've played a lot of Left 4 Dead. And people are still playing it. I don't know if the Versus is still active, but you could probably just go on True Achievements and ask for like help boosting or Steam and help boost. So I don't think any of the multiplayer achievements would really be that hard to do unless you also, like I, have 8 other Xboxes with 8 Xbox Live accounts. Skate 3, I don't know. That might be worth looking at. I'd probably say Skate 3 is like a 5 out of 10. Again, probably another skill-dependent one. You've got to learn how to, like, the flick-it controls. But I don't think there's really anything in it that is actually... Like, the servers have now come back on. It's a 6 out of 10. Yeah, probably the online achievements are the most difficult. What is it? To be in a lobby with 6 other players. That one's hard. And if... There's actually one that is unobtainable. Well, I think there's a workaround. Like if you download like play in a 6-player team free skate session, that one's probably the hardest. Just getting what I was struggling with it was getting people to stay in the lobby until I could get another 6 people. This was right when the servers came back online, so I wanted to get that done before EA decided to shut them off again. Oh, the logo. Back when it was like logo, whatever, EA logo, whatever the thing is where you could get on the computer and make your own logo. There's a workaround where you can download a created skater off of the server, and then when you use that skater, it would give you the achievement. Yeah, because that website's closed, so you can't do that anymore. I believe the DLC is still up because it is a backwards compatible game, so you can still get the DLC. I would probably give it a 4 out of 10 difficulty rating, but I've had a lot of practice with Skate. I would like to have the Skate 2 full completion because that one's my favorite, but it's also the only Skate now that I don't have all the achievements for. But I don't think the online servers are on for that anymore. I haven't really checked, but yeah, I don't think Skate 2 is up anymore. Just because this one was like, I think I've actually looked this up. I think it's a 9 out of 10. So this was a whole reason I have 8 Xboxes anyways. I bought Legendary at Game Exchange just on a whim. It was a game I'd never heard of. I had looked at the achievements, noticed there were online achievements, and was like, well, damn, it's a 7 out of 10. I'm never going to get all of those, but I acquired 8 Xboxes and was like, you know what? I might be able to farm this. The hardest achievement, so I did all of the multiplayer first before I even started actually playing the story for this game. It's not a good game. It's like one of the worst games I've played, actually. You have to do 3 separate playthroughs. There's no stacking on difficulty. And the game is buggy as all hell. The first 2 playthroughs aren't really that hard, but hard is actually kind of hard just because the game sucks. A lot of the other, like, story-related achievements are actually kind of easy to get. There are plenty of collectibles to get, however, that kind of sucks. But the multiplayer is where this game gets most of its difficulty. The hardest one being Combat Veteran, to play 200 ranked multiplayer matches. I do not know what the developers of this game thought their game was going to be, but this is just insane because the multiplayer mode in this is just like a capture the flag thing. You just kill werewolves, collect animus, and then put the animus into a machine. And when you fill up the machine, your team wins. That is all it is. It's not even like a team deathmatch or anything. It's just that. So it was nothing. I don't know why they expected people to play this enough to get 200 ranked multiplayer matches. I had the 8 Xboxes, so I got 8 of my close friends and family together, and we literally played this all fucking day. And everyone else in the house unlocked this achievement except me. I had to do like another, 160 matches. My Xbox froze at one point, and I guess it didn't save the matches I had completed. So I had to do another 160 matches to get that achievement. Nathan hung out with me while I did it, so I really appreciate him for that. But yeah, legendary. I would probably agree with the 7 out of 10, but it is not worth going for. There's nothing enjoyable about the game, so getting all of the achievements is not something I would recommend anybody do. I only did it just to see if I could. Let's do Forza Motorsport as well, because the pole position achievement is probably like my most proudest skill-reliant achievement I have ever earned. Dang it, there's not a guide, and it's an Xbox exclusive, so I have no idea what it is, but having to get the highest qualifying lap in the multiplayer was one of the hardest things I had done. Just because when I played it, I think people were exploiting the game and getting impossible lap times. I heard that there was a patch that got released that fixed people being able to do that. I don't know if that's what I was experiencing online, but I do know that I would do my damnedest to put down my perfect lap time, and there would still be someone that beat it by like whole ass seconds. I don't know if that was the case, but I definitely was the most ecstatic I've been earning that achievement in a while. So this one is probably one of my most proudest full completions just for that achievement alone. I'm really proud of Forza Motorsport. I love having Left 4 Dead 2, but it's not something I'm really proud of. Callisto Protocol I'm proud to have. Wanted Dead I'm proud to have, just from if you've seen, I have a Wanted Dead video. I also have Callisto Protocol, the legendary video, and Forza Motorsport. But if you've seen the Wanted Dead video, you know that the final achievement to earn all achievements was glitched for me, and I basically had to do everything all over again to get that achievement to pop. This is one of the hardest games I've ever done as well. Just based on this style of game, and it is kind of janky. The developers did release updates for it that kind of made it a little easier to do. The shoot 'em up mini game in it, I could not do that in its original state. So I'm glad they updated that, gave that some quality of life fixes. But yeah, Wanted Dead is one of my proudest ones. Resident Evil Village. Let's look at that one. I'm probably going to say Resident Evil Village is a 5 out of 10. Especially now with the, the Chris Redfield being added to the Mercenaries mode. Because I got S ranks in the Mercenaries mode before Chris Redfield was added. And that was like one of the hardest things I'd ever done. You had to basically be perfect. 6 out of 10. It's before the DLC. The Shadows of Rose DLC on hard. I did... my first playthrough of that I just did on hard, and that DLC isn't very easy on hard. And I think my first playthrough of it being on hard probably soured my thoughts on the DLC. I think I ended up doing like 8 playthroughs of this game. I bungled my... Where is it? Timber, lucky number 7. Is it Knives Out? Finish the story using nothing but close combat weapons. Yeah. I bungled... What do you... Stop it. I bungled this one at the end when you're playing as Chris and you use the, like, orbital laser. I thought you were required to do it, but no, you can put it away and actually kill that final boss with a knife. So I had to actually do a whole nother fucking playthrough of it. The Resident Evil Village is another full completion I am proud of. It is my favorite Resident Evil game. Though the factory stage kind of sucks, but I love, like, everything else about it. Yeah, see, a lot of my games, like Lollipop Chainsaw. Let's look at Lollipop Chainsaw. The original one. That isn't the remake. That's the original version of it. I'm probably going to say it's a 6 out of 10. 4 out of 10. Damn. I don't think you're required to beat the game. Does it say difficulty? Yeah, just 1 achievement and stage select. Okay, so difficulty does affect it. I think you do have to beat it on hard. But I don't think the game is actually very hard. The only achievement I ever actually had trouble with, you have to get up the building. Like, you have to do the gondola ride without... Yeah. Beat the gondola game without shooting. That one, to me, was the hardest achievement of the game. My friends, I remember us spending, like, hours, like, passing the controller back and forth so we can try and get that. Yeah, like, the hard isn't that difficult. I remember there being, like, a few grindy ones, like purchasing all upgrades or whatever, but, yeah, I don't remember, like, the game being overly difficult, really, on the hard difficulties. But yeah, I would like to eventually play the Repop. I'm waiting for... I got the, like, collector's edition from Limited Run Games, and it says that's not being delivered till April. So I can probably look forward it to coming out next fucking June, because they kind of suck, but... I'll probably end up doing a video on them when my fucking copy of Clock Tower actually comes in. Yeah, I don't typically go for, like, hard ones. I've only recently started doing more challenging ones. At least, like, in my opinion, I don't think a lot of these are hard. Especially, like, the BioShock 2 remastered. You've got, like, BioShock 1 remastered in particular. You've got the New Game Plus mode, so beating it on impossible without using a Vita chamber is made, like, trivial because you could just reload a New Game Plus save and just be overpowered for the starting areas. Alan Wake was probably, like, the hardest game I had done when I was a kid, so I guess we can end on Alan Wake. Let's see what it was. And is it going to... It's a 5 out of 10. It does include all 1,500 gamer score. Yeah, beating the game on Nightmare, that was the first time I had ever played a game on its hardest difficulty. So that was definitely like my first challenging thing I had ever gone for. And I didn't think I would actually be able to do it, but I did. Mafia 2 is a game I'm proud of, but I don't think that's a really, really difficult. You know what? We'll look at it. I remember... I lied about Alan Wake being the last one. I remember for the Jimmy's Vendetta achievement, the one where you've got to drive 1,000 miles in Jimmy's Vendetta, I would come home from school. See, this is only the original 1,000. I would come home from school and drive a loop around the Empire Bay map doing 100 miles every day for like an hour until I got the 1,000 miles. That's definitely one of my core memories. But I loved Mafia 2. Is there anything else worth talking about? Bloodstained, I also have a achievement hunt tours on that. Fuck it, we'll look at that one. To me, the hardest achievement in Bloodstained is... And there's DLC for that. There isn't a guide. I would like to do an achievement hunt tours on the DLC, but I think it's defeat every enemy is probably the hardest one, because every enemy includes the... God bless a fucking America, PSN Profiles. Your website is ass. But every enemy includes the secret boss battle, OD, and he is the hardest boss in the game. If you would like to know more about that boss, you can watch the achievement hunt tours on it. But 4 out of 10. The collectibles are in red. Demonologist, yeah, that's the one to beat every demon. Or is it Demon Hunter? I think those probably go hand in hand, because you have to encounter a demon to even get info on it. Playing the game and... that's just slay 1,000 demons. That ain't nothing. So it's Demonologist is to complete the compendium on the demons. Yeah, get a full bestiary. Yeah, fighting OD was probably the most challenging thing about the game. But, one I'm proud to have as well. Bloodstained is like probably one of my favorite underrated games. To me, Bloodstained is probably like the most underrated game. Not enough people have played Bloodstained. And I just happened upon it in some random game store in Mesquite. And I'm glad I found it. Beacon Pines is another, I don't want to say hidden gem. Another underrated game. Probably like the best one. I don't know if it's on Game Pass anymore. But when this was on Game Pass, it was my favorite Game Pass game. And not enough people played that one. As well as Tinykin. Tinykin used to be on Game Pass as well. Don't know if it still is. But yeah, a lot of these, like Peepaw's Farm, it's 13 minutes, but there is literally an achievement in this to get it in 5. To get every achievement in 5 minutes. There's an achievement to do that. Yeah, these are like... I was trying to get to, I think, 200,000. So I did these to just boost my gamer score. And this one isn't actually complete because I haven't done the DLC, but True Achievements will group them that way. The Bureau XCOM Declassified is another game that I think is underrated. It is kind of janky, and playing it through on hard is very frustrating just because your AI partners suck ass, and I did that hand in hand with the achievement to prevent any of your partners from dying. It's really not that hard, but when they immediately go down in a battle and you've got to run over and make sure they don't bleed out, and you just get shot in the ass the whole time while doing it, that just kind of sucks, but I don't think it's really that difficult. I did do the DLC for it because that's the way we do it on Xbox. We don't puss out and only do a platinum. But Dark Void is probably not worth going for the full completion just because of the survivor missions in it. The one survivor mission to get, I think it's like 1,000,000 points or whatever, sucked just absolute dick. Stray is a good game, but not overly difficult. I felt obligated to do that because I am a cat person, but it's a good game besides that. Slayer's X Terminal Aftermath used to be my rarest completion on Xbox, or Xbox One. My rarest one on Xbox 360 is the Beatles Rock Band. But Trials HD. That is the only Trials game I have gotten all achievements for. I could probably do Evolution, but I would have to replay the entire thing because I don't have the Xbox 360 I originally did it on. And there was no cloud save, so doing a 10 out of 10. Okay, well, I have a 10 out of 10 on my completion card, so that's something. Trials is difficult. I don't think Trials HD is as hard as... I'm not going to say Trials Rising because that game sucks, so I don't even want to think of it as a Trials game. But Trials Fusion I could probably do if I nut it up. Yeah, the Trials games are difficult. So I guess that makes me feel better about the challenge I'm undertaking. So I guess we'll end this off here with me saying what my future plans are. So the only reason I even thought to do this is because I recently watched the Sandras video where he did a trophy hunting thing where he got the platinum in 10 different games ranging from a 1 out of 10 difficulty all the way up to a 10 out of 10. So I thought that would be a fun way to experience my backlog as well as try and go for some more difficult full completions. So my stipulations for this challenge are, one, they had to be games I already owned. I've got a huge ass backlog. So just buying a game to do here didn't make sense to me. So I wanted to do it with games I already owned. 2, I strayed away from anything that had multiplayer because some of these are going to be difficult enough on their own. I did not want to add having to either boost with my 8 Xbox 360s or struggle to find people to play these games online with. 3, if the game includes DLC, I have to also do the DLC because, like I said, we don't puss out and just do the platinums. We get all of the achievements. And yeah, I think that's it. So if that's something you guys want to check out, consider subscribing. I did a poll a few days ago where I asked if people would rather me post each game in this challenge as its own video or do it as one big video. So I did opt to do this all in one video. At least right now, that's the plan. We'll see how it goes if I can keep up a decent upload schedule because, frankly, I don't want my channel to die trying to do this challenge and not be posting videos frequently because that seems to be the way the algorithm works. So if I fall behind and can't be doing normal uploads with the schedule twice a week, then I'll either put the challenge on hold for a bit or just start uploading single videos. But for right now, my tentative plan is to do it as one big video. But if that is something you would like to check out, consider subscribing so you can see that when it actually gets uploaded. leave a like if you liked this video. Apparently that helps with the YouTube algorithm. And leave any comments down below if you've done any of the games I mentioned in the video that I took time to go over, or if while I was scrolling through the list you saw any that you had done that I hadn't or I didn't talk about. Leave those in the comments down below. But other than that, check back next time for whatever I do. Bye-bye.